Hey there, we're currently driving inside Yosemite National Park. Our Tesla is equipped with FSD, which means it can basically drive itself, of course, under the driver's supervision. We left from Yosemite View Lodge, passed through the Arch Rock entrance, and here we are. Be sure to check out our previous video as well.
We're heading toward Yosemite Valley now, and our ultimate destination is around Yosemite Falls. Enjoy watching how Tesla's FSD performs, and take in the views of Yosemite's beautiful scenery at the same time.
Hey, don't you think we might encounter some wildlife out here in the mountains? I've heard Yosemite is home to all sorts of animals.
Yeah, for instance, deer. I read that mule deer live throughout Yosemite National Park, and they're really cute. But they're usually pretty skittish and run off if you get too close. It's best to just watch them quietly from a distance.
I'd love to spot some while we're staying.
Yeah, and apparently there are bears too. American black bears get spotted pretty frequently around Yosemite Valley and Glacier Point, from what I've heard.
I once saw a video of a bear down by the river near Yosemite View Lodge.
They have strict rules about bear protection in Yosemite. It can lead to a $5,000 fine if you break them. You also need to take precautions so you don't get attacked.
Right, I remember seeing a note in our room saying, "Don't leave food out on the balcony table."
There's also a place called Curry Village with tent accommodations, and they don't even allow you to eat food inside the tents. Bears have an incredible sense of smell, so it's something to be aware of.
I've heard that among mammals, bears have an especially strong sense of smell.
Yeah, when you're visiting Yosemite, you really need to stay alert for bears and make sure there are proper precautions in place so they're not attracted to your area.
What other animals might we run into?
We could come across coyotes, and we'll definitely spot squirrels. You often see squirrels around town too, right? I've heard there are California ground squirrels, western gray squirrels, and chipmunks here. Chipmunks especially are tiny, with those cute striped backs.
There are tons of oak trees in Yosemite, right? I've seen big acorns everywhere along the roadside.
Yeah, it looks like a really welcoming environment for all kinds of wildlife.
By the way, we'll be driving on a road soon that gives a great view of that famous spot, El Capitan. Remind me, what exactly is El Capitan again?
It's a huge granite formation, around 7,573 feet in elevation, with a 3,000-foot vertical face from the valley floor. So it's another massive rock, apart from Half Dome.
No wonder it's such a dream spot for climbers. Imagine scaling a 3,000-foot vertical wall.
It's incredible, right? And there are various theories about the name El Capitan. It comes from Spanish for the captain or the chief, and I've heard it was once a sacred site for local native peoples.
That's so interesting. I wonder how a rock this massive even formed.
They say El Capitan's rock formed about 100 million years ago, though there are different theories. First, molten magma deep underground cooled very slowly, forming dense, hard granite. Then, plate tectonics and other shifts in the Earth's crust pushed that huge mass of granite closer to the surface. Once exposed, it was gradually carved away by rain, wind, and temperature changes. Because different sections vary in hardness, softer areas eroded faster, leaving the tougher rock behind. All these processes went on for millions of years, resulting in the El Capitan we see today. It's really mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah, right? Makes you wonder if that original granite from 100 million years ago was even bigger. Nature's power is really amazing.
And that nearly vertical 3,000-foot cliff is said to be almost unmatched worldwide. By the way, if we take a left at that upcoming fork, we can head toward Tuolumne Grove. It's packed with giant sequoias, perfect for a little exploration. But this time, we're sticking to the road toward Yosemite Valley. Anyway, back to El Capitan. That nearly 3,000-foot vertical cliff is said to be a serious challenge even for seasoned climbers. Apparently, there are over 70 different routes. The nose, first climbed in 1958, is super famous.
Sounds like it'd be really tough, but also kind of fun, right? You'd need serious upper body and core strength, and strong hands too.
3,000 feet is way taller than any city skyscraper. Climbers must be pulling off something incredibly challenging.
So this time, the FSD's driving is really smooth, huh?
Yeah, I think it's doing great.
So I'd like to get into a bit of history now. Is that okay?
Of course. I actually love talking about history.
Apparently, people have lived in Yosemite Valley and around here for ages. The Miwok tribe is especially famous. They called Yosemite Valley Ahwahnee, and the people who live there are sometimes referred to as the Ahwahnee.
Oh, I didn't know that. There's the Ahwahnee Hotel in the park, right? It's a 4-star place. I guess the name actually reflects the local native heritage.
I read that back then they mainly lived by hunting and gathering, using the wildlife and plants in the area. They used to travel between Yosemite Valley and the surrounding high and low elevations.
Makes sense. There are so many cliffs in Yosemite. Just getting around must have been tough.
They must have had super strong legs from all that climbing and hiking around. The FSD alarm just went off. I turned it off for a moment, just in case.
But there was only a person standing off the lane, right? Maybe FSD didn't expect someone in that position.
I wonder what triggered it. Sometimes it doesn't beep at all in the same situation. Let's keep an eye on it for now.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright, let's circle back to Yosemite's history. In the mid-19th century, units like the Mariposa Battalion started driving out the native people and taking over their land. At that time, the leader of the Ahwahnee was Chief Tenaya.
Right, there's Tenaya Lake in Yosemite National Park. So his name still lives on as the name of that lake. Look! We're on the road where you can see El Capitan. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, what a view. I'm honestly blown away.
Want to come back later and explore this area on foot?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
This massive rock is so thrilling, no matter how many times I see it. I wonder if the native people ever climbed up and down something this huge.
Hard to say, but I do know they treated these cliffs and waterfalls as sacred. I've read they had creation myths featuring coyote, passed down through oral tradition.
Makes sense. You can really feel nature's power just staring at these walls. I wonder what they used to eat back then.
Apparently they ground acorns into flour and hunted deer and fish. They really made use of the resources around here.
I still see plenty of big acorns in Yosemite Valley. It's cool to think maybe they ate ones from the very same oak trees, or their ancestors at least.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you put it that way. Weren't we supposed to pass near Bridal Veil Fall at some point? Is it coming up soon? Looks like we can't actually see the waterfall from this spot though.
Oh, if you turn right at that fork, there's a parking area specifically for visiting Bridal Veil Fall. Maybe we can check it out tomorrow. Bridal Veil Fall is one of the famous waterfalls in Yosemite Valley, right? According to the guidebook, it's about 188 feet tall. They say the water drops straight down, creating a fine mist that looks like a bridal veil. Its source is Bridal Veil Creek, so even in the dry season you can still see the flow. But in spring, when the snow melts, there's way more water, and it gets even more impressive. You don't even have to walk much to get right by the falls. Super convenient.
I'm excited to check out Bridal Veil Falls soon. Alright, next time we'll drive over to the parking area near Yosemite Falls. Stay tuned for more.